All right, welcome to Inside the 90, taking the show on the road, and we are at EOS Worldwide with Forrest Derr. Welcome,
sir.
Forrest.
Glad to be
You've
here.
done a lot of podcasts recently.
Yes.
Have you ever done one sitting in a van?
I have not done one sitting in a van. This is a first.
You're
So
gonna be the first.
yeah, it's even more fun that it's sitting in a van that's running.
Yes.
Based off some of the story, based off on some of the stories I've heard earlier.
Sensitive subject.
Don't want to go there. Don't want to go there. Too soon. I'm just glad the AC's working. So that's good. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
But this is the first I've done in a van. Yes, I've done a lot of. I've done some in person, online, Riverside, all the different platforms. So.
Yeah,
Actually, I hired a PR firm to get me on podcasts.
Well, and you were on,
Yeah.
I think, the first 3 episodes. One of the first.
Yeah, it was,
Not
yeah.
the first episode.
I have my
of
wood.
Inside
I have my
the 90.
wood plaque
Yeah, you
on
got
my
that.
desk.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And you got Connecticut sausage, right?
Yeah, I did, man. That was some good stuff. I got it right after I got my Blackstone, and I was,
Perfect.
I wasn't cooking it for any reason whatsoever. I still got one frozen.
I like bribing people with food. So
yeah.
no.
So sitting at the EOS conference.
Yeah.
How many times have you been to the conference?
This is number 8.
Number 8.
Wow.
Nice.
Of course, there is the COVID one that was virtual, but I still count that as attending. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. And each time your journey has kind of changed a little bit
Yeah. Yeah.
from attendance.
Yeah.
So when you originally attended, you were an integrator?
Full-time integrator.
Full-time integrator.
Yep. Working with an implementer.
Okay.
Gene Moorhead was my implementer. I don't know if you remember him.
Very cool. Absolutely. I didn't know
4 years. Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Worked with him.
Yeah. And when you started to implement EOS, was the organization already running on EOS when you joined, or you helped implement it?
Nope.
Alongside?
So we, the Visionary, typical, somebody gave him the book Traction. He read it. He threw it at me across my desk. Literally, it was airborne and hit the desk. And he said, "You need to read this. We got to figure this out." And I'm like, cool. So I read it and it clicked. I was like, where has this been all my life? This is the way a business is supposed to be run. And we were a chaotic business. I mean, he was a typical visionary, walking through every morning, dropping hand grenades, and then going to lunch and not coming back. And then we had to deal with the chaos. I was a VP of finance at the time. So I would say that we tried to self-implement for about 30 days.
Yeah.
And we gave up very quickly. And we interviewed 3 implementers and ended up hiring Gene Moorhead as our implementer.
Very cool.
So
And what type of business was that?
it was a telecom company, so voice and internet company.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely.
recurring revenue, which was perfectly suited for what we were doing. So
Yeah. And now fast forward 8 years,
yeah,
right? And now you're sitting here as a fractional integrator,
correct. Yeah.
the founder of the ENRG.
Yep.
Kind
Yeah.
of
Got it started. Yeah. Yeah.
Got that started.
Yeah.
And so let's just kind of open up that journey a little bit.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot going around the ENRG side, so maybe just talk a little bit about the origin.
Sure. Yeah.
Where that came from.
So it was, I'm trying to remember which conference it was. It was a couple of years into going to conferences, and I would get back home and I was fulfilled and excited and pumped up. I was going to go work on my accountability chart because I had gone to a session, and I'd get back home and it's like, where are my people? Where is the community? There was no community. I could not find people that were running on EOS in my community. And so it was kind of a letdown, like big high and then let down. It's like, okay, well, what do I do about that? I said, at first I started and I said, well, let me go find integrators. I'm an integrator. Let me go find my peers. And so I did several posts on Facebook and LinkedIn. Hey, if you're an integrator in Fairhope, Alabama, come to this coffee shop. Nobody showed up. Okay, so nobody showed up the first couple of times I posted. And I was like, all right, let me open this up again. And I said, let me post if there's any visionaries or integrators, show up at this coffee shop at this time.
Yeah.
I had one guy show up that was self-implementing EOS. He was a visionary,
Yeah.
small insurance, residential insurance company. So we sat in the coffee shop and spent about an hour talking. And he was like, why don't we just open it up to anybody that is interested in EOS? Did you read Traction? Did somebody tell you about EOS? Are you running your business on EOS? Be at this coffee shop at this time. 11 people showed up. And that's when I knew I had something. I was like, okay, this is something now.
Yeah.
And so that's where it got started. We formed a very small board of directors, no business license, no formality, just 4 people. We would meet once a month and then together as a board and figure out how to grow this. And so started as one chapter in 2022.
And that was a monthly chapter.
Yeah, monthly chapter.
Yeah.
Monthly chapter with a 90-minute meeting.
Yeah.
We started from day one. Let's just run an L10 and show people what that looks like. And the board's vision was that if we can get more people running on the US, it's going to create better companies. It's going to create better jobs, which is then going to create better communities. And I would challenge either one of you to come visit Fairhope, Alabama, and see the difference that's happened from these communities being built.
Awesome.
It's been transformational. So fast forward 6 months, and Mobile, Alabama, which is 30, 45 minutes away, sister city, they said, hey, we want one too. And so they had a business incubator that sponsored it. And they said, we'll host it. You just need to come. So we started another chapter. And so we had 2 chapters running for about 3.5 years. And then I aggressively started promoting it on LinkedIn. You know, if you want to do an energy chapter, this is what I'm doing. Talk to EOS. They were not really enthused with, they didn't disapprove what I was doing. They just didn't want anything to do with it. Like, you do you, I'll do me. That's fine. And so continued to push. And I had 3 people around December of 2023 or 2024 reach out to me and say, hey, I'd like to lead one. I had a full-time integrator, a fractional integrator, and an implementer all reach out to me around the same time from some posts, and they all started chapters. And so I had 3 chapters: Cleveland, Houston, and Santa Barbara.
Okay. Yeah.
And those 3 chapters started in February of last year. Continued to promote, continued to talk about it. And then at the end, the EOS conference last year, you saw me.
Yeah.
I was sitting. I sat in the lobby, and I just had meeting after meeting after meeting with people that wanted to start chapters.
And you had 5 chapters then.
I had 5 chapters
And today,
last year.
how many?
There's over 85 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now, Dad, for you, last conference was about that.
Yeah, it was all. I didn't go to a single session. Sorry, EOS. I didn't go to a single session. I just literally sat in the lobby and I stacked my calendar with people that wanted to talk about starting an energy chapter. Yeah, and it was implementers, fractional integrators, full-time integrators. It didn't matter. I didn't care who it was that would come and talk to me. So yeah.
Now, and there, by the time this episode goes live, the cat's already out of the bag.
That's right.
But this, the news will be out. But let's jump to current news, and then let's back up and talk about how that happened. What?
Yeah.
The big news is
that ENRG now is running the EOS conference, and they're the official caretaker of the EOS conference.
And it's incredible.
So, yeah. So what started as a mini conference at home in small towns is now kind of gobbled up the big conference.
I call it the butterfly wings. You just slapped your little butterfly wings, and a typhoon took over them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Took a couple of years, but
And you got some more involvement from other individuals.
Yeah.
To kind of get it to that point.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and so last year at the conference, I'm having meetings with people, trying to figure out how do I position this. Of course, I'm 4 months into starting my fractional integrator business too.
Yeah.
So, why not take on something else? And so I was trying to figure out how do I grow my business, but still grow energy. And my calendar was getting consumed by people wanting to talk about energy. And it's not a revenue play. People ask me, especially this week, I've had numerous conversations. How much money did you make off energy? Nothing. It wasn't. It was help first. It was help first. It wasn't a profit play.
The entire time.
Right. So I was not struggling, but just trying to figure out how to balance my calendar. And Kyle Mealy, reached out to me before the conference a couple of times because he had a vision. He's a true visionary. He was like, I like what you're doing. Let's figure out how to pour gasoline on it and let's get it to take off. And so we met, had a bourbon, had a good conversation downstairs in DC, and he was like, look, let's just join forces. Let's figure out how to make this work. He had a nonprofit called Second Gear Group. I had ENRG. Yeah. He had sponsors. I had local chapters. And so he had what I needed for ENRG to continue to flourish, and I had what he needed. Yeah. So it literally was a marriage to do this, where I had the momentum going on the local chapters, and he had the momentum going on the sponsors. Right. I had one sponsor at the time, which was great, but it was not enough to really drive it forward. So, we formed that arrangement. I handed ENRG off to Second Gear Group. He changed the name from Second Gear Group to ENRG to use that branding that had been established, and then he promoted it and built the system to make it grow.
Absolutely. And now from your component, you still are doing your fractional integration business.
Sure.
That's your number one thing.
Correct.
Fair to say?
Yeah,
right?
that is my focus. Yeah.
One thing. You're still running your Fairhope.
I still running my the original chapter.
The
Yes.
original chapter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you're involved from an advising role.
Yeah.
And maybe even a little bit more than that.
Yeah, a little advising
ENRG.
strategy, talking, Kyle and his team are running it. I'm just kind of behind the scenes. And then also, a little bit of the face of the organization because I founded it. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Are you sharing in the vision of casting the vision of where it goes from here?
To some extent, Kyle's got that under control. I tell people I'm not a visionary. I've had several people tell me I'm a visionary, and I don't feel like that. I feel like I'm a reluctant entrepreneur at that, let alone a visionary. But no, I mean he really has a great vision for where he wants to take ENRG, and he's got a great team behind him. And I would say most of the conversations are him calling me excited, telling me about what he's got next.
That's awesome.
So that's probably more of the conversations than
And,
anything.
And your fractional side of things, you're loving it?
I'm loving it. I just very rewarding. It's I figured out probably about 2 years ago that I really like the first 6 to 9 months of helping a company build out that integrator seat and make sure the leadership team has propagated EOS throughout the organization. That's what I really like to do. And I hate to say it, I get a little kind of bored after that, and I'm ready to go on to the next thing. So my engagements are 6 months at minimum, sometimes 9, 12 months, depending on how long it takes to get that full-time integrator in place.
Yeah. So you'll come in,
Mm-hmm.
say it's an organization, first time putting in the EOS,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Work with an implementer,
Yep.
they'll focus day, VV1, VV2, maybe 1 or 2 quarterlies, and they're starting to really realize the need of an integrator.
Correct.
Right?
The founder is drowning. They're trying to be the integrator as well as the visionary. Or they've had an integrator and the integrator failed and they need to have somebody fill in the gap.
So you'll do a stopgap. When an integrator leaves, you'll help come in, put some good structure in place, and help hire a replacement.
Yep.
Or you'll actually have them start that position.
Yep.
Help them hire that position.
Yeah. Because EOS implementers like yourself, it's a great job, but you can only go so deep in the organization, and that founder really doesn't understand how to work with an integrator. A lot of times they don't know how to let go of the vine and how to be challenged, and so stepping in and helping that founder understand what it's like to work with an integrator sets them up for success. Because I've had I've had several founders, visionaries, who have gone through integrator after integrator after integrator because they just didn't understand what it's like to work with.
I always think there's 2 things, right?
Yeah.
The perfect match of the puzzle, right, is what you're looking for. But these are really 2 things you need to know from that relationship. One is the mechanism of the visionary and integrator. So understanding those different roles.
Yeah.
Then there's this other half, which is the visionary has to trust the integrator enough to be able to let go.
Yeah.
And so it's a relationship thing.
Yeah.
What I love about fractional integration is it teaches them the mechanisms.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And then they need, now you take the mechanism and now we understand the mechanism.
Yeah.
Now you just need to make sure you find the right person that is that puzzle piece that you can trust, that you can let go to. And rather than trying to learn them both at the same time, this is why people go through 4, 5, 6, because you're trying to figure both sides out at the same time.
And it's a challenge for somebody that's fresh, that's never been an integrator before, to come into a business that's running on EOS and they don't understand it. And then let alone now they're trying to build this relationship with a visionary that doesn't want to let go of things. And so it really is, I think, part of the secret sauce to get that company effectively running 100%. So. And
then didn't you mention earlier you have like an integrator mastermind type of group?
I do. Well, so here's what happened. So this is where the story, I guess, gets a little interesting. So I started ENRG to find integrators, but then I couldn't find integrators. And I was like, well, I don't care who you are. Come on.
Yeah.
So then that started the groups and started the chapters. And then about 2 years in, I had 2 chapters running. Guess what? I had a bunch of integrators I could get together.
Yeah.
So then I said, all right, I'm going to start, invitation only integrator group. It's going to be limited to 10 people. Show up at this. And so I meet with them once a month. So I've got 10 integrators I meet with. Yeah. Most of them are full-time. Some are fractional integrators. They go to ENRG chapters, but then we also meet separately. And some people have asked, well, why are you doing that when you got ENRG? And I'm like, it's different because visionaries are crazy. And, integrators really needed a place for us to just talk about integrator visionary issues.
Correct.
Right. So that's a safe space for those 10 integrators for us to sit in a room and talk about.
ENRG's for if you're interested in it.
Yeah.
EOS all the way have been running on it for decades.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where I'm sure with that it's a little bit more, you can go deeper.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you found, I mean, you're doing a great job on LinkedIn of just celebrating the integrators, the communities, your clients. Have you found that just attracting people who desire to be integrators into the community is creating a, it's almost like the farm team, bringing in people who have the desires and interests, but don't yet have the role?
Yes. Yes. I use this term and I got validated with this a year and a half ago. When I read Traction and after I went through the Integrator Masterclass, I came out of that and I said, I've been a closet integrator. And I didn't know what it was, didn't have a terminology, didn't have a language. So I use this term closet integrator. And that's kind of the mission that I'm on simultaneously with ENRG is how do I find closet integrators and get them freed from what they're doing and get them into that seat because they're
into any integrator seat or in the fractional
into any integrator seat. I don't have a loyalty saying everybody has to be fractional or everybody has to be. I'm just like, let's go find some more integrators. Let's build that farm team. Let's mentor those people. Let's show them the way because there are people who are really have the potential to be great integrators that are trapped in a business because they don't know that there is something else out there. So that's where that passion has come from, and it's been neat seeing it. And like I said, I don't want to say this too loud because a bunch of people might move to Fairhope, but Fairhope is kind of the incubator where we've got this community of integrators that are being built, and all these visionaries are finding them, and it's a place to grow their businesses.
Yeah,
so
it's incredible.
Yeah.
Now, so something we gotta hear the story. But, right here. Let's hear that story.
The tattoo. So, okay, so I'm 50 years. I was 50 years all the time. I'm 52 now, and I was working at a landscaping company as a full-time integrator before I went fractional, and I went to a conference at a landscaping conference, and I was the only person naked without a tattoo. I mean, literally, men, women, kids, it didn't matter. I was like, this is so weird. I'm like the only, like all the people, all my leadership team had tattoos. And I was like, this is really weird. I need to, if I'm going to embrace this landscaping business, I need to get tatted up, And so the guy that was my visionary, he had a full arm sleeve and everything. And basically he had 4 different businesses over the years, and so his tattoo represented all the businesses that he owned. And so I was like, that's kind of cool. I want to do something like that. So I was like, I want to do something that's meaningful, that is impactful. I'm not just going to go get a butterfly on my, my right cheek or whatever. I want to get something that's actually meaningful, right? And so I went to the same tattoo artist that my visionary went to in Fairhope, and I said, hey, I want to do a tattoo, and I'm an integrator. And he's like, what's an integrator? And so I explained it to him, and I showed him an integrator circuit. If you just Google integrator circuit, that's an electric integrator circuit.
Circuit board.
So most people that see this in the wild that are not in the EOS community, they're like, oh, you're an electrician. I'm like, no, but let's go with that. Let's talk about that. And so I showed it to him. I said, I just want an integrator circuit, and I'm going to put it on my arm. He's like, that's boring. He said, I don't do boring tattoos. I mean, if you want to do that, I'll send you to somebody else. I was like, well, what do you mean you don't do? He said, I want something to mean something. It needs to be impactful. I was like, okay, well, what do you have in mind? He said, well, tell me what this part of the integrator circuit is. I said, well, that's the visionary ideas. That's the light bulb. He said, well, let's make a light bulb. I was like, cool. Resistance, that worked out well because it was resistance. This symbol down here, and he was like, well, what's that mean? I was like, well, that could be like getting the right people in the right seat. And so we added a mark to it to make it look like Maslow's hierarchy needs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then he said, well, what about up here? And I can't remember what the integrator circuit was, but he was like, well, what about pi? And I was like, well, what about pi? And he said, well, pi would be consistency, structure, processes, repeatable processes. I was like, oh, pi, I like that. So we did pi. And then at the end, we just said, what if we do something that shows that the business is increasing in value? Yeah. So literally, he didn't make any money on this tattoo because he spent 2 different hours brainstorming with me to build this out. Yeah. So we built it out and put it on my arm, and it has just been the
fun little
craziest conversation piece. It's been, I mean, you posted that you remembered. That was a highlight.
They were like, what was the highlight of last year's event? And I was like, Forrest tattoo.
So it's been interesting. My dad was mad at me for about 3 weeks, and I'm like, I'm 50 years old, and you're mad at me for getting a tattoo. But that's fine. But no, it's been a representation, and it really is interesting just to have this visual. Because when I talk to people and they're like, hey, I'm struggling with this, I'm like, you're right here. You've been doing all this crap over here, and that's where your problem is.
Yeah.
If we go get the right people and the consistent structure and processes will increase your equity value. And you're like, oh, I get it. It's the easiest business plan diagram. So yeah.
Absolutely.
So haven't trademarked it yet. Somebody told me I needed to trademark it, but it's on my arm, so you can't have it.
It's proof. Right.
That's right.
So what are you excited about in the next year?
Oh man.
What's going on in the
I'm excited to try to figure out how I can continue to really expand reach. I mean, I think I'm not trading time, but I am trading time. So I mean, I'm a one-man show. So I've had several people.
And you typically do what, 3-4 clients at a time?
3 clients at a time. Yep, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I've got some integrators that I coach, and so I've been working with them. But with respect to what I want to do, I got to figure out how to multiply my time. I got to figure out how to, I guess, increase impact. ENRG has been a great path to increase impact, which is awesome. I'm going to keep my ENRG chapter in Fairhope, my integrator community in Mobile. That's been really good. I think another step might be to take ENRG and take it to the next level and add integrator in-person communities.
Yeah.
I think that could be another stepping stone to do that. I've been doing some fractional coaching. or integrator coaching. I really like coaching full-time integrators and fractional coaching. So I don't know. I suck at being a visionary. I'm still trying to figure out what that looks like. So I want to keep doing what I'm doing. I mean, this has been a really cool ride.
The best part, we talked about it earlier, the best part is you can take time.
Yeah.
It doesn't all have to be right.
Exactly.
You have that time in your life.
Take the opportunities as they come.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And just love what you're doing and put energy into it, and those things will come.
Yeah.
And literally just those decisions, give yourself 90 days at a time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the brilliance of the 90-day world.
90-day world.
You can be like, this is where I got to be. I only have to do this much right now.
Yeah.
So,
where can people find you?
Find me on LinkedIn. So look for Forrest Derr. I had somebody say, hey, Forrest K. Derr. And I was like, yeah, what's Forrest Derr? But I have my initial.
Yeah,
that's right. You do.
Cheat code. Do you know why I have that? You know why I have my middle initial in my name?
Let me guess, actually.
Okay.
So if you get a spam email,
a DM,
Forrest K.
If I get a direct message on LinkedIn that says Forrest K, I know that it's an automated email or an automated direct message.
Maybe I heard that from you. So I feel like
just so anyway. But I had somebody, you had 2 different people go Forrest K. Derr, and I'm like, yeah.
So you're automated?
Wait a minute. I'm confused now.
Well, actually, on one of our episodes, a few episodes back, I said Forrest Kerr in the episode. I corrected myself. I was like, Forrest, I know it's Forrest Derr, but I'm just reading the code.
So, look me up on LinkedIn, Forrest Derr. I've got a website, derrconsulting.com. I got another website, Fractional Playbooks, that I'm starting to build out some playbooks, which that's another thing I'm working on for people. So,
And then, for your main business, you stay in Fairhope, or do you work with teams outside of Fairhope?
Good question. Right now, I have one team that is remote that I visit once a month in person, and the other 3 weeks I'm working remotely. And then the other 2 teams, I actually go in person to their office. I can do both. I like spending time in person with people. Yeah. There's a lot I can learn sitting in the break room eating a sandwich that I don't pick up on a Zoom call. So, but do both. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming out.
Man, thanks for inviting me. I'm excited to be part of the van.
Well, and you're an inside the 90 OG. So
there you go.
Going, man.
That's awesome. So I got to get you another box of Connecticut sausage.
Well,
I'll get you a box of Connecticut sausage.
He just got a new house and a new grill.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and I only heard about it.
Yeah.
You didn't even give me a bite or anything.
I'll send it to you. I'll take care of you.
Exactly.
Okay. Thanks for having me on.
All right, thank you for
Appreciate you.